both my servers are automatically shut down. Okay, because it's very old server when I was taking the CTS batches, so I created those servers almost like 4 or 5 months back servers it is. Okay, and the last creation something, if it shows any details, then we can know. Okay, it's not required anyway. It is there. It's a trial version server, trial version machines. So it's like evaluation versions. It's like 90 days, 180 days trial version is there. Once it is done, it's going to be expired automatically. So it won't work for more than 1 hour. Anyway, our main topic is that main important to show that is completed. Then we'll go for DHCP. First of all, what is a DHCP? DHCP is first, it is a protocol. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It is a protocol and the port number is 67 and 68. Of course, there is a DHCP server is there. The server name is DHCP server. What is this DHCP server will do? DHCP server assigns or configures IP addresses to the client devices automatically. What is a DHCP server will do? It assign or configure IP addresses to the client devices automatically. Okay. So this is a DHCP server and I have a client PCs in the network. Okay. And which client places? There are their network you are created, obtain IP address automatically. In the client, what setting is required? ncpa.cpl. It opens a network connections window. So if you see, there is a adapter. This is my Wi-Fi adapter. And go to details, it got an IP address. So the IP address is, it got it, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS server. So DNS server address. From where? From this DHCP server. From this DHCP server. And if you see here it is DHCP enabled yes. It means I get an IP address from DHCP server. What is my DHCP server address? Is 172.16.192.1. That is my DHCP server address. Okay. So what, based on what setting? You know already, that's why just I'm showing. This is Internet Protocol version 4, IPv4 properties, and I selected obtain IP address automatically. Obtain DNS server automatically. It means what I said to my adapter, get IP address from DHCP. In my adapter settings, what I said, get an IP address from DHCP server. So what is my client will do? What is my client system will do it? So my system is now a DHCP client system. When I said obtain IP address automatically, it means my system is automatically a DHCP client PC. It is a DHCP client. What this client will do? Client try to find DHCP server. First of all, it does not have any IP address. First, it will try to find DHCP server. Okay, and DHCP server, I'm giving only 2 steps. Okay, so but there is a 4-step process is there. I will explain the 4-step process also. But look at here. And DHCP server will assign an IP address to the client PCs. Same way, the DHCP server assign to the DHCP client PCs. How it is become a client? In adapter, we have said obtain IP address automatically. Then this the system is become a client PC. Okay, so it will get an IP address from DHCP server. For example, I select use following IP address. If I select like this, use following IP address, and I given an IP address, I have to give IP address manually. Okay, IP address, subnet mask. If I have a default gateway for my network, then I have to give default gateway. In case I have a DNS server in my network, so I have to give DNS server address also. Okay, and say configure C, use following IP address. Use following IP address means your configuration is manual configuration. DHCP enabled now means IP address configuration is manual configuration. Okay, DHCP enabled now means this is IP address configured manually. See, IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS address. Where is DHCP server address? No, why? Because of it is DHCP enabled or the IP address configured manually, not from the DHCP server. And this type of configured devices, not DHCP client. There are static IPs. I use manual or static IP. Okay, it's not a client of DHCP. So it won't get IP address. It won't get an IP address from here. It won't get it. You get it's static IP. For example, again, this is obtain IP address automatically. Then it is DHCP client. This is use following IP address. Okay, so that is how DHCP client and static IP, automatic IP address. Okay. Once again, I will explain. Okay. Yeah. Tell me anybody having doubt, question. So what is a DHCP server will do? It assign or configure IP address to the client devices automatically. As I said, I configured this adapter manually. Okay. For this adapter, it is automatic. Okay. So we can get an IP address from DHCP server automatically, or yourself, you can assign an IP address manually. So what is the advantage of assigning manually? What is the advantages of assigning automatically? And what is the disadvantage of assigning manually? Also, we'll check it. Yes, manual configurations are if you configure manually IP address, that is called static IP. The static IP addresses won't be changed automatically. Static IP means it won't change automatically. You have to change it manually again. Okay, so that is a point. What is it is not changing manually. If you have a servers, you have a servers like a Active Directory server is there, DHCP server is there, DNS server is there, web server is there, storage server is there, WDS server is there, WSUS server is there. Okay, so you have a servers. For server, we have to configure manually. Hardly how many servers in the simple single organization, maximum 5 servers, 10 servers, 20 servers can easily manage static IP. So you can assign static IP. So it won't be changed automatically. Your network is refreshed. Okay, the router is restarted, or DHCP server is restarted, or refreshed, or removed, old kind of stuff. Occasionally you start the server also. IP address won't be changed automatically. You have to change. If you required, you will change manually. Otherwise, it is always same IP address. It is always same IP. That is a advantage. What is the disadvantage in the same scenario? For example, for my laptop, I am getting dynamic IP address because when I connected this network, I came to office, I connected to office network. I got some IP address from the DHCP server. Today, I got this IP address. I worked on my system, completed. At night, 6:30, work is completed. I went to my home. Then I have a small work at night. So then I take some class or maybe I have to do some practice. I connected to my network. Then I will get a different IP from my DHCP server. From my DHCP server, I'll get a different IP. Maybe next time I'm going to my hometown. I bring my laptop. I have to do some work from home. Okay, today's class I am taking from there. So what happened? I will assign different IP based on that DHCP server. So IP address will be changes automatically because of DHCP. If I configured manually, what happened? Morning I came, I have to configure IP address manually, then working is done. Once it's completed, my time, so then I have to go to home. Again, I have to change IP address according to my home network. Okay, so here different network, there different network, in other place different network. So whenever I'm changing my network, I have to change my IP address manually. That is difficult, it is advantage. Okay, so how it can be overcome is the help of DHCP. Because DHCP, wherever you connect, so there DHCP server will give you an IP address. So you don't require to connect, change it IP address manually. Okay, so for certain infrastructure, certain places, you have to configure manually because of the IP address won't be changed automatically itself. Okay, that is important in some places. Some places, like so people who are connect and disconnect, keep connect and disconnect. DHCP server is required because of people cannot configure IP address every time. Second one is you configure an IP address manually. You have multiple devices. You don't know which IP address is already taken and which IP address is available. So you have to configure manually. You have to configure. Sorry, something deviated. Point is, you don't know which IP address is already taken, which IP address is available. If you configure manually, it is possible conflict will be generated. Same IP is assigned to two or more systems. What happened? Conflict. These systems cannot be communicated to anyone. So make sure that is should not be conflict. So this is one of the network troubleshooting also because when you configure manually, okay, same IP is configured to multiple devices, conflict will be raised. When conflict is raised, that system is cannot communicated to any other systems. So you must check it, which IP is available. Again, you have to change IP address manually. Possibility of wrong IP address configuration. Possibility of wrong IP address configuration. Manually, we tell to the people to put an IP address like this 190.168.1.1, for example. Now what people will do, they'll put a 19.168 1 dot. Some people put 190.168 1 dot. So what happened? This is pure class C. This is class A and this is class B. And see that's in both the three are different networks. Okay. So some people put like this. 172. This is actual number. This is they have to put it. Instead of that one, they'll put it 172. 168 because that is become habituated previous one. So 190 to 168. They put 170 to 168. This is a private and this is a public IP address. Okay. The first one is private, second one is public IP. Okay. So it is possibility of wrong IP address. A given small change in any of the network related octets, okay, network portion octets, you change small number 170, 172. 170, 172, both are different networks. 16, 168, both are different networks. Okay, it's not about a classes or private or public. It's the same network or different network. Okay, the possibility of entering wrong IP address is also possible. Next, you know the how to assign IP address. I know how to assign IP address, but everybody knows how to assign IP address. In IT companies itself, not everyone knows how to assign IP address, right? You should not, again, we have to give training how to assign IP address to the devices, right? Not everyone knows how to assign IP address. Second, for certain devices, like in nowadays, we have a smart TVs, mobile phones, printers, okay, smart LEDs. These are different types of devices. It's not much easy to assign an IP address. Okay, so we do not have proper interface to assign IP address manually also. Again, you have to connect to some mobile application and then maybe you can push it from it. But still, we cannot assign IP address. I cannot say we cannot, but it's very difficult. More number of devices. I have 10 computers. Manually, I can configure. I have 20 computers. Manually, I can configure. 50 computers, little difficult, but I can go to each and every PC manually, I will configure it. 100 computers, difficult, but still I can able to configure. More administrative work is there, more administrative work, but still I can able to do it. But it's keep increasing, keep changing, keep increasing, keep decreasing and increasing. So what happened? It's become more complicated and more difficult to assign IP address and maintenance of IP address. So these are the things about a manual configurations. Okay, guys, understand manual or static IP address? Hmm? Okay. Then what is this DHCP? What is the advantage of using DHCP server? Already we have noted some points here. It is DHCP server assign or configure IP address to the client PCs automatically. So you don't require to know how to assign IP address. The only thing is put in a dynamic mode. Okay, put in a dynamic mode. Use obtain IP address automatically, and certain devices use dynamic option, static and dynamic options like that. Okay, dynamic option we have to select to get an IP address dynamically. So dynamic IP address. IP address will changes. Morning I connected, I got an IP address from DHCP server, okay, in the office. Evening, I went to my home, then I connected my network, there DHCP server assigned an IP address to my PC, okay. So it is IP addresses changes automatically when you connect it to that network, there DHCP server will give you an IP address. So you need to give manually, okay. Because of DHCP, it assign IP address automatically, so it will maintain the record. So which device is which IP address is given, which device, which IP address is given. So it will maintain the record so that automatically when you connect a network, it will take IP address is not at used IP addresses will assign to you, which is the IP address is not assigned to anyone. It has the record. Which IP addresses are assigned, it has a record. So the remaining IP address will assign to the new devices. Okay. So possibility of conflicts, wrong IP addresses will be lesser or No. Okay. So everyone is not required to know how to assign IP to not required. Okay. You don't require to know what network, what IP, what how to assign, not required. Only thing is in the device, the required setting should be enabled. By default, it is dynamic algo. If it is manual, then only you have to change it. By default, most of the devices, almost all devices are dynamic time setting. Okay. And so not only for computers like desktops and laptops, DHCP also provide IP address to different types of devices. Printers, TVs, mobile phones, smart LEDs, like in different types of devices. So this is the advantage of using DHCP server. Guys, I told in my office, because I am getting an IP address from the DHCP server. In my home, I'm getting an office IP address from DHCP server. Thing is, where is this DHCP server? Our router is act like a DHCP server. Generally, we are using our own Wi-Fi router is there now. Your Wi-Fi router is act like a DHCP server. Someone asked me a question that is, what about a mobile phone I connected to 4G network? Is my mobile is getting an IP address to communicate? Yes. Because 4G network you are getting means from a tower. The tower is there, from there you are connecting. From tower, you are getting 4G network, right? 4G data connected. Once you are connected to 4G data, the tower has some router switches inside that will give you an IP address to communicate. Okay, that will give you an IP address to communicate. Okay, so in home we have Wi-Fi routers. Wi-Fi router act like a DHCP server. So then we are getting an IP address to communicate. Okay, these DHCP servers can be our Wi-Fi routers. You can use Windows servers. You can use Linux servers like that also. You can make a Windows server or Linux server as a DHCP server. DHCP server give an IP address to the clients. Once it is configured, you can able to see their IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DNS server address, DHCP server address, and lease period, lease uptime, lease expiry. Okay. So here it is. I given manual configuration, use uptime, use following IP address. If it is a manual, DHCP enable no. If it is automatic, obtain IP address automatically and IP address DHCP enable yes. Also you can see DHCP server address. Okay. So all the information is given here, so we can follow that. Guys, understand advantage and disadvantages between the static IP and dynamic IP, manual configuration and DHCP configuration.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. So how it will be assigned? How it will be assigned? So as I given only one arrow, two arrow kind of stuff. So I said later we can able to explain. So here it is in the systems, the connected in the network. Systems are connected in the network. Okay. So what happened? There is a DHCP server. There is a client PC. There is a something like that. It is there. Okay. So this is a DHCP server, and there is some other computers also there. DHCP clients. Okay. And static API configured PCs also there. Servers also there. Okay. So what happened? For example, take A. What is this A DHCP client PC is doing? First of all, it does not have any IP address. So what it will do, it try to discover where is the DHCP server. It is want to discover who is my DHCP server. It does not know, so it has to discover. To discover, it will send a discovery packet to everyone in the network. Send a discovery packet to everyone in the network. Okay, it broadcasts the discovery packet. Yes, you want to send anything. So there is a two important things. One is source IP, destination IP. Source MAC address, destination MAC address. Okay. But our APC does not have source IP. So what it will do for sending, it use this like this. Source IP, this is the source IP. And destination, it does not know where is the DHCP server. So it use a broadcast. Okay. This is a broadcast type. So to destination. This is source IP and this is destination IP. Destination IP is a broadcast type. Source MAC address is MAC address only. Destination MAC address it does not know because it does not know who is the server. Then it use 12 Fs like this. Okay. No? Okay. So this is how it will broadcast. But I'm giving very small details only I want to give, not this much lesson. Okay. So, but this is point is get to know is quite easy. DHCP server broadcast. So DHCP client broadcast a discovery packet. DHCP server finally received this discovery packet. Finally receive the discovery packet. Then DHCP server gives a, a offer. What is the client is doing? Client send discovery to find where is the DHCP server. When DHCP server receive a discovery packet, DHCP server give IP offer to the client. Yes, I am a DHCP server and I have this IP address is available. I have an IP address is available. Do you want it? Like that, it will give a offer. Of course, it is all broadcast only. It is all broadcasting only. So I'm going to reduce that to broadcasting points because the time is not enough to discuss all these things. Yeah. This is a DHCP server. This is a DHCP client. So what is DHCP server is doing? So the client is doing, it try to find DHCP server by sending discovery packet. Whenever DHCP server receive the DHCP discovery packet, it broadcast offer, IP offer. So then the client will receive the offer from the broadcast because it contains a MAC address. It will receive IP offer. DHCP client receive a IP offer from DHCP server. So when it is receive IP offer, so it's DHCP server saying, I have an IP address. Do you want it? DHCP client see, yes, this is an IP offer. Then DHCP client will send, yes, I want this IP address. Okay, here as a request. It send a request packet. Yes, I want this IP address. Then DHCP server finally assign IP address. It say, yeah, take this IP address with this lease duration. Take this IP address with the lease duration. Now, client will get an IP address. The client is get complete IP address configuration. IP address, subnet mask, default gateway, DHCP server address, DNS server address, lease uptime, lease expiry. All these things will be configured at client. In DHCP server, will notify that one. What is it? Client name, client MAC address, and what IP address is assigned to the client. What IP address is assigned to the client. That is noted in the DHCP server. Okay. So this is called a DORA process. DHCP assign an IP address to the clients The process, we call it as a DORA process. What is a DORA? Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Guys, always discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. DHCP assign an IP address to the client PCs. The process of DHCP server assigning an IP address to the clients is called a DORA process. The process we calling as DORA. DHCP process or DHCP process is also called as DORA process. Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Okay. Then what is DORA process? Discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. The client discover server. Client send a discover packet to the server. Server gives IP offer to the client. The client send a request for the IP address. The server send an acknowledgement. With that acknowledgement, IP address will be configured for the client. Okay, that's why arrow marks are important to understand. Okay, discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. Guys, understand DORA process? Nothing, no responses. Okay. So one more point I want to tell, that is called a APIPA address. As I said earlier, this is a DORA process. After DORA process, you will get an IP address, right? Client configured with an IP address. By whom? DHCP server. In case the client PC unable to get configured with a server. Okay. So the point is, so I have a DHCP server on the network and I have a client PC. The client is trying to get an IP address from DHCP server. So DHCP server has to assign IP address to the client PC. Thing is, the DHCP server is become unavailable. Means it is shut down. Maybe network is disconnected. Maybe DHCP service is not working. Or maybe there is no DHCP service. No server, no service like that. Okay. So no DHCP, maybe service is down, maybe server is down, even it is disconnected from the network. So the client won't get an IP address. The client won't get an IP address from the DHCP server. So what client will do? Client is trying to get an IP, client is trying to get an IP address from the server, but server is not available. Server is down. Or IP addresses are completed because server has some 100 IP addresses. Already IP addresses are given. Okay. Or service is down. Or it is disconnected. So finally, client is not get an IP address. So what client PCs will do it? Itself it is assign an IP address from APIPA range, automatic private IP address range. Okay. When you check in any system IP address, it is showing 169.254 dot something dot something. Okay. Meaning is the client PC, the PC system not get an IP address from DHCP server. it assigns itself an IP address called APIPA address with a 169.254. Something that something. Okay. So that is APIPA. So here it is, I have written APIPA address, automatic IP address 169.254. Something. Your system is unable to get IP address from DHCP server. The system assigns an IP address itself from APIPA range. So it is a range 169.254.0.1 to 169.254.255.254. Okay. If system is unable to get IP address from DHCP server, the system assigns an IP address itself from APIPA range. So when you check an IP address, it's showing DHCP enabled yes, and it is showing 169.254. It means you got a APIPA address. You got a APIPA address. So what to do? Is this adapter is connecting to any DHCP server? Is this adapter is connected to any DHCP server? Is there or not? DHCP service is available or not? Okay, check the server. If it is under router, check the router. Log into the Wi-Fi router. Check the DHCP server configuration. In the Wi-Fi router, there is a DHCP server configuration. Okay, you have to check the DHCP server configuration. In DHCP server configuration, make sure it is enabled. Service is enabled. Or try to restart the service. Make sure it is get connected. Then okay, interface is connected. Make sure that is IP addresses are available or not. A chain of IP addresses. Maybe earlier it is only 100. Now it is more than 100 computers are there. Then you have to make that a number of IP addresses from 100 to 150 or 200 like that. Depends upon your network. Okay. Depends upon your IP network you are using. You have to change it. Okay. So either it is check DHCP server is available or not. Check their service running or not. Restart the services connected or not. Okay. All other systems are getting IP address. So only your system is not getting. Then what to do? Check in a DHCP. There is a deny list. Okay. Allow list, deny list is there. Generally all are allow. All type of networks are allow. Generally all are allow. Sometimes there is a deny list. What is a deny list? If any system comes with a specific MAC address, don't give DHCP service to it. Okay. So first discovery packet itself, it contains the DHCP client MAC address. So whenever it is receive a MAC address, so it will disconnect. Okay. It will don't give IP address because it's in a deny list. That is also better to check it. So once you clear, once your DHCP server side issue is resolved, then what to do? Our client side IP address is not changed. In the client side, IP address is not yet changed. So what to do? Go to the adapter, enable and disable the adapter. So right click, disable it first, then right click, enable it. Some systems we cannot enable and disable. Why? Because of systems are in the domain environment, or you are logged as a standard user, or your system is in the domain. So you do not have a rights to enable or disable the adapters. You cannot change the settings also. You cannot assign IP address, static, dynamic like that. You cannot change anything. Okay, you need a password. So what you do? So go to the command prompt, use these two commands, ipconfig space/release, ipconfig space/renew. When you type ipconfig space/release, the IP address configured to the adapter, to your system. Dynamically configured IP addresses or automatically configured IP addresses will be removed. If it is an IP address is static, we cannot remove like that. But it flushes all dynamically assigned IP address to your all adapters will be adapters. Okay. So simply say it remove your old IP address. Dynamically assigned IP address will be removed. ipconfig space slash release. ipconfig space slash renew. It will get you a new IP address from DHCP server. ipconfig space slash renew means you will get a new IP address from DHCP server. So it will try to go for a DORA process again. Okay, this is APIPA and how to troubleshoot. Guys, sometimes we have one network in our office earlier. Okay, so what happened? There is a switches, rows are there like this, multiple switches. These switches are connected to multiple computers, and one switch to another switch connectivity is there like this. And there is a one router from outside. It is internet is coming to this Wi-Fi router, and it is connected to this switch. Okay, so we received internet to the router to switch from switch. We are connecting to our desktops and laptops with wires. Okay, everything is working fine, but after few months, this internet is keep interrupting. So we need a backup internet because you have to do all the things in the practical way. So then we need another router. So this router has different network interface. Okay. So this is for a switches for a classrooms we are using. This is for our laptop separately wired type, wireless type we are using. So whenever this internet is disconnected, so what we will do, we'll connect the wire from there to here. This IP network is different, this IP network is different. So first one is 192.168.0.100, it is start IP address. And second one is 192.168.1.2 is a starting IP address. So both are different networks. Okay, both are different networks. 192.168.0.0 network, 192.168.0.0 network. This is 192.168.1.0 network. Okay, so when I connect this network, what happened? This is replaced, this is removed, and this is connected. So our PCs already got IP address from here. Okay, already this assigned 192.168.0.112. This is already assigned to this PC, old IP. But network is changed. Network is changed, but IP is not changing. Even it is a dynamic IP, not changing immediately. Okay, what happened? It is showing old IP, but actual IP address is changed. Actual IP is changed because of I changed the router that is giving different IPs, but my desktops and laptops having old IP. It is not changing immediately. It will take time. It will take time based on the lease duration. It will take time to get updated. So what to do? Same solution. Okay. Still your system having the old IP, even though you change the network, your system is showing old IP addresses. So what to do? Same thing. Go to the adapters, enable or disable, or go to the command prompt, ipconfig space slash release, and it will remove the old IP addresses and ipconfig space renew. It will get a new IP addresses from the DHCP server. So again, it will get updated IP address from second router. Okay, so these are the commands useful. That's it. That's it about your DHCP. If you have any doubts regarding DHCP server, please tell me. Okay. Small topic is DNS. But now itself you are not speaking anything. I don't know what happened after break.